YouTube, come on in. Welcome to Mo's Knows. I'm your host, Mose. Today, we continue our checkup series. That's right. We are checking up and checking in with all 32 teams across the NFL landscape to see what they did in the offseason, who they added, who they lost, what their starting lineups look like for offense and defense as we head into the 2021 NFL season. We're going to Cleveland. We're going to check in with those Browns. They are no longer the doo-doo Browns like they used to be called. They're a winning organization now under the leadership of Kevin Stefanski. Behind the quarterback play of Baker Mayfield. Baker. Only Niner fans know that.
His name, like Baker. Baker, you good? Come on, pick it up. We want a challenge.
Oh man, we're gonna check in with the Browns. Let's see what they got going on. Let's start with the players that they lost first. Defensive end Olivier Vernon. I believe he's still a unrestricted free agent out there. So they may plan on bringing him back later on in the year in case they, need a boost to that pass rush. Defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi, who stays in the division, goes over and stays in the division and in the state. Going from Cleveland to Cincinnati, Ohio, to play with those Bengals. Safety Carl Joseph goes back to the Raiders. Cornerback Terrence Mitchell and defensive tackle Sheldon Richardson all no longer with the team. Some good names there, but I think there's some good names on the other side. Let's take a look at the key additions. Outside linebacker Jadeveon Clowney. This could be huge if he can stay healthy. If he can give you more than 6 games, 8 games. If Clowney can stay healthy opposite Myles Garrett, ooh-wee. Safety John Johnson III coming over from the Rams. Linebacker Anthony Walker Jr. coming over from the Colts. Defensive tackle Malik Jackson coming from the Eagles. And their rookie draft picks this year in the 2021 NFL Draft, corner Greg Newsome II and linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Browns is doing some things. They already got a solid organization. They already got a solid core on offense and defense. But this list of players that they added shows us that this organization is making really good moves. Putting the people and the players in place, both star and role players, to be a successful team on the field. So let's take a look at the starting offense and defense, and then we'll get y'all out of here. Of course, as we mentioned, starting quarterback Baker Mayfield. Behind him, one of the best running backs in the league, Nick Chubb. That's a good duo in that backfield there. Offensive line is really solid. Jedrick Wills Jr. coming into his second year in the NFL. At left tackle, next to him at left guard is Joel Bitonio, one of the best guards in the league. At center, we have J.C. Tretter. At right guard, we have Wyatt Teller. And at right tackle, we have Jack Conklin. Tight end, we have Austin Hooper. And on the outside, Odell Beckham Jr. coming back from that ACL injury. He looks good. Now, he had some health concerns. He's had some major injuries. I think he had obviously he had the ACL last year. There was a year in New York. I think he had the broken ankle or something like that. So he's had some major injuries to his lower extremities, and that will affect his ability to run and cut and run routes. But right now, he's still young, he's still vibrant, he still looks good out there running routes, catching those one-hand passes in preseason, in preseason warm-ups. So he's looking good. If he can come back and he can stay healthy, this offense will be back on track again. Opposite him, his best friend, Colin's teammate, Jarvis Landry. And Donovan Peoples-Jones in the slot. I have him in the slot here because when OBJ did go down, Peoples-Jones stepped up in a big way to fill that void. So him continuing to get better, him being another option for Baker Mayfield in this offense, I think this only makes this team that much better. This is a really, really good looking offense that Kevin Stefanski gets to run. So I know he's excited about this. Moving over to this Browns defense, best player on the team, Myles Garrett, without question, one of the best pass rushers in the league. Next to him is Malik Jackson coming over from Philly. Next to him at our other defensive tackle spot is Andrew Billings. And as we mentioned, Jadeveon Clowney at the opposite defensive end spot. If this defensive line, particularly Jadeveon Clowney, can stay healthy, man, oh man, watch out. Linebacker core, free agent that we brought over, Anthony Walker Jr. as our middle linebacker. We have Mac Wilson and Sione Takitaki as our outside linebackers. I did tell the Browns that they needed to upgrade this linebacker core as well. During my mock draft phase, when I did my Browns video for the mock draft, I mentioned that they should address the linebacker core. Their defensive line was fine. Their secondary was fine. They needed to do some work on that linebacker core. So they bring in Anthony Walker. And while I don't have him starting, I have, the veterans Wilson and Takitaki. Expect to see a lot of Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. This guy can do everything on the defensive side of the ball. You're going to see him line up at linebacker. You're going to see him line up in the slot. You might see him, back at safety at some point for certain plays, certain schemes. If they're doing defensive rotations to throw a quarterback off, he's a Swiss Army knife on defense. So I expect him to get a lot of playing time in his rookie year to help this defense out in a big way. At cornerback on the outside, we got Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams. Denzel Ward is our starter. Really, really good corner. Greedy Williams, he might be on the chopping block. He's got to show and prove that he's able to be a solid starting corner in this league, because Greg Newsome, their first round draft pick, is nipping at his heels. So he's going to have to prove that he's ready for that spot. At our safety positions, we have Ronnie Harrison Jr. and we have John Johnson III. Like we mentioned, John Johnson coming over from the Rams. Secondary is really good. Don't forget about Grant Delpit. Don't forget about Grant Delpit. I think he's going to come in as well, and they're going to have a rotation in that secondary, particularly in the safety department. You may even see something like where you have Anthony Walker, Owusu-Koramoah, and Grant Delpit as your linebackers in certain packages to put more speed, more athleticism on the field, especially if a team is going, 3, 4, 5 wide, trying to, spread the field, leaking running backs out of the backfield and having them line up as a receiver. You may see something where we have Grant Delpit, Owusu-Koramoah, John Johnson, and Ronnie Harrison Jr. all on the field at the same time. This Browns defense about to be lit. This Browns defense about to be lit. I'm excited to see what the Bills defense does. I talked about that in the previous video, particularly with their defensive line up front. But I'm also excited about this Cleveland Browns defense. I hope Clowney can stay healthy now that he's no longer in our division. He was with the Seahawks for a little bit. Now he's no longer with us. And he's not in the NFC West. He's over in the AFC. I don't really care what he does. So I want to see him healthy now and see what a tandem like him and Myles Garrett can do together. And then just to see all the playmakers that they have. John Johnson, Ronnie Harrison, Grant Delpit, Owusu-Koramoah, Denzel Ward. This defense is going to be really, really fun to watch. And I can't wait to see them in action. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Checkup with the Cleveland Browns. If you liked any part of this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It helps me. It helps you. I get to curate content to what you like and what I want to do. And it's a win-win situation for everybody. Cleveland Browns fans, let me know how excited you are for the season. Tap in with me in the comment section, man. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what's going on. Are you optimistic going into the 2021 NFL season? How do you think your team fares in a division that's really, really tough? I think the Steelers are going to be good this year. We know the Ravens are going to be good, even though they lost J.K. Dobbins. I still think they're going to be a really, really good team. So let me know how you feel about your Cleveland Browns in that AFC North division. Again, tap in with me in the comments. You can also tap in with me on my social media accounts, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'll link those in the description. Whatever your preferred means is, by all means, hit me up. Thank you for watching the video again, your family, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can make it official though by hitting that subscribe button and taking another 2 seconds and hitting that bell icon so that you get notified every time new content drops right here at Mo's Notes. Love and appreciate you, and I'll catch y'all in the next episode. Y'all be easy.